All right, what's up, fellas? We're getting right to it with Tyler Moody. It's fantasy football time talk because it's the end of week 1 in the NFL. We're getting ready for Monday Night Football. The whole city of Chicago is so fired up today. Vikings and Bears, Monday Night Football. The Ben Johnson era kicks off with Caleb Williams tonight in an NFC North big matchup. We're jumping right to Tyler Moody. We got our Dude Wipes. We got our Stella Blue. It was a hell of a weekend. One of the wildest NFL games I've ever seen. We had the game of the year in week 1 last night. The Bills coming back from the dead to beat the Ravens 41-40. And the Josh Allen fantasy performance last night, one of the damnedest things I've ever seen. He had like 40 points. If you had him, you certainly won your league. DraftKings had amazing parlays and props all weekend. The Ghost Leg parlay thing, I believe like $160,000 were saved off the Ghost Leg parlays. We got Moody here. What's up, Moody? How are you, bud?
I was one of those people that the ghost leg parlay saved. It saved my anytime touchdown parlay. Had 3 guys get in. David and Njoku did not get in, and the ghost leg saved me. Shout out to DraftKings for the incredible ghost leg promotion. One of my favorite promotions that I've ever seen run by any book out there. This is a game changer for somebody that's always close on finishing off their parlays.
Well, I got good news for you then, Moody. You love the Ghost Leg promotion?
I love it.
Well, guess what? It's back all season.
Let's go.
Every Sunday. They were going to do it like 1 week or 2 weeks, and it went so well. It was so popular. They're having it all season long. Amazing. And for those who don't know what we're talking about, you opt into Ghost Leg. If you do a 3-team or more parlay or player prop parlay, if you lose one leg, it gets paid out anyway. Like if you have a three-teamer, it gets paid out as a 2-teamer if you go 2-1. It's the greatest thing of all time. It's insane. And I almost tipped my Ghost Leg too. T-Bob and I did a Saints one together, Moody. And we had Saints plus 6.5, Juwan Johnson touchdown, and Shaheed over 60. And Juwan Johnson, I thought, caught the touchdown to tie the game at the end of the game. And everybody celebrated in the Frontier Saints bar. And then it was it was incomplete. And we would have hit over 10-1 on ours if he would have caught that. But whatever. The beauty is, though, this DraftKings thing, I was talking about this last night. There's never been a better time for a recreational gambler to actually make real money because of all these boosts and props. And you could do $5 and $10 and $20 parlays till you're blue in the face to watch these games. It's amazing. I mean, there's boosts. There's no sweat bets. There's the Ghost Leg. If you do a prop bet early and your guy gets knocked out first half, it gets refunded. I mean, it's amazing the stuff DraftKings is doing right now.
Look, as someone like obviously I don't have the direct connection with DraftKings, so I used to bet on all of them. DraftKings has stolen my business from everyone because they do such a good job with their promos. I love their user interface. I think they have by far the best user interface. And so like they're even like again, this is not even a promo. This is legitimately DraftKings is the best right now. They're taking care of their people. They have the first half injury exit promo deal going on as well. They're taking care of their people. I think DraftKings has clearly separated themselves from the pack. There's no doubt about it.
All right. Well, there's a lot to get to with week 1. And then we're also going to do a Vikings-Bears parlay together on DraftKings. For they have a no sweat bet and a 50% boost bet tonight. I mean, unbelievable. So do you want to get to do you want to do the Monday night parlay first, or do you want to get to the other stuff?
I think we save that for the very end, and we'll throw something together at the end.
All right. Anybody's got any questions, fire them away, too, on Twitter and the YouTube chat.
Yeah, shout out to chat. I see y'all over here. A couple questions from chat. Our boy Chadwick Moff is getting after you a little bit. He said, Mintzy, dude, your college football picks have been garbage so far.
What? I went for it. I mean, that's crazy because I actually won money on Saturday and the first 2 Saturdays. They were bad during the day, but then I closed Saturday night with Vandy, Mississippi State, and UNLV. And I mean, I don't know. If he's calling them garbage when I'm over 500 both the first 2 weeks, then I don't know what kind of standard we're setting because they have not been garbage. I will tell you when they're garbage. I'm not like someone who sits up here like I'm always good. If I get the shit kicked out of me, I'm going to say I get the shit kicked out of me. But that hadn't happened. Yep. I went 4-2 week 1, and then I think I was either 4-3. I was 4-3 Saturday. I don't see the problem.
I'm 4-0 in college. I'll probably bet 6 to 8 college games throughout the rest of the regular season. I'm just not the biggest college guy. I only pick games whenever I feel very strongly about them, and most of the times it is the major game. So I went 4-0 weekend 1. I didn't even bet college this last weekend. Saved everything for the NFL. So speaking of the NFL, let's get to it, Mintz.
Let's get to it. All right, first thing we got to get to is the Sunday night game because it stole the show. It's one of the greatest games of all time. I cannot believe the Buffalo Bills were 40-1 on the live line, Moody, at one point to win this game, and they won. 40-1! And they came back and won.
Yeah, incredible effort from Josh Allen down the stretch. Obviously, this doesn't happen if Derrick Henry doesn't fumble the football. The Ravens gave this game away as much as the Bills won the game. So I think there's faults to go to the Ravens. Obviously, tons of credit to go to Buffalo. But Buffalo continued to believe Josh Allen made so many plays whenever he needed to make plays. So I come out of this game thinking they're the two best teams in the AFC right now, though. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Well, I still got some stuff on the Bills that I worry about because their defense just sucks. And I think at some point, Sean McDermott's got to get called out because he's supposed to be this defensive wizard. And even when they've been losing in the playoffs, like they lose when Josh Allen gets some 30 points in playoff games. And this dude's supposed to be some defensive wizard, and they have to score 41 freaking points to win against the Ravens. And I know the Ravens are talented offense, but I feel like the McDermott's not doing it. Allen's doing everything he can. I think there's a little bit to it. But I want to ask this. This is a debate. Great debate point. Okay. Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, who thinks better? Fantasy, real life, whatever.
I mean, I'll take Josh Allen just because he has to do more. You just mentioned you mentioned the lack of defense that Buffalo has. Baltimore has a legitimate defense. They're going to shut most teams down. They got outdone by Josh Allen last night because of his pure talent. Lamar has more weapons around him. He has a better offensive line. He has a better team in general. I'm not knocking Lamar Jackson in.
Oh, I don't take that as a slight at all. I just think these guys are two guys that are doing it on a level we haven't seen, and I was curious which one. It's like apples and different skill sets. You know, I was just curious which one you preferred.
Sure, and I think that the Bills are a little bit more, or a little less reluctant to put the ball in Josh's hands. They count on him a little bit more than the Ravens do Lamar, right? They have Derrick Henry there to give the football to as well. So there's just other weapons for the Ravens to use. It doesn't always have to be Lamar. When it feels like with Buffalo, even though Cook is good, even whenever he has big plays, it's because Josh Allen throws him the football a lot of times. You know what I mean? So, like, it is Josh Allen. He is the key cog in that entire offense. I'll take Josh Allen by the smallest of hairs.
I take Josh Allen for sure. And my points would be, like you said, they got Derrick Henry, they got Zay Flowers, they have a better defense. I also think Lamar's been healthy the last few years, but he used to get banged up a lot in the season. Josh Allen's never missed a game, and I think that durability means a lot. And who the hell is Josh Allen throwing to? I mean, you got Keon Coleman could emerge, had a good game last night. Shakir's got a bum ankle. He's got Josh Palmer who couldn't cut it for the Chargers. You know, I mean, dude, unbelievable what Josh Allen's done. And shout out to him because in our huge league, he won us our week 1 game. So.
Yeah, we have a massive league that we're in, and week 1 went good, and it was all because of Josh Allen. He carried our ass just like he carried the Bills.
All right, fantasy standout stuff I want to get to because we're going pretty heavy fantasy today, and we're taping our second week FFF pod in the morning, and we're firing on DraftKings all season long. All right, other standouts. You called the Justin Fields thing. I thought he'd be pretty good because he could run and would put up some stats. I had no idea they were going to come out and score 32 points, even though they lost against Pittsburgh. I mean, 30 fantasy points from Fields. I thought that was a surprise of the day, especially against the Steelers' defense.
Yeah, it obviously didn't surprise me as much as it surprised everyone else. But what did surprise me was how well he threw the football. He looked great. He threw a couple dimes in that game to Garrett Wilson. And look, Garrett Wilson can win one-on-one. And what happens when you're facing the Jets right now, you have a lot of speed with Hall and Garrett Wilson. And if you elect to double team Garrett Wilson, now you don't necessarily have an extra guy to deal with Justin Fields' legs, right? So I just think that it's a pretty good recipe for success right now for the Jets offense. I don't know that they're going to score 30-plus points every week.
No.
Look, that's a good Pittsburgh defense, and they made their way through them for the most part. So, obviously, from a fantasy standpoint, I believe Justin Fields is going to be a monster. When Justin Fields starts, he is rarely outside of the top 6 quarterbacks as far as fantasy points are concerned. So I thought he was the steal of the fantasy season. I've got him in a few of our leagues. I've drafted him for you in one of your leagues. I like Justin Fields, a better fantasy player than real life player, though.
Yeah, but he was great at both. I mean, the fact he scored 32. I mean, the over-under on that game was 38, and he scored 30. He almost hit that himself. But yeah. I thought he was one of the big standouts. I mean, we didn't mention King Henry. We were talking Sunday night. Over 200. I know he fumbled, but over 202 touchdowns. Or do you have two? That was 190. Whatever. He had a huge game. He had 330. First game in his NFL career with 330 plus yard rushes. I mean, I will say, I always admit when I'm wrong. But when my big rant of the fantasy football season was people taking Ashton Jeanty over Derrick Henry. And I was like, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen. And I feel vindicated. Jeanty 19 for 38 in week 1. New England stacking him up. And, man, Henry still the king. So I got to shout him out. There were a lot of other, a lot of low-scoring games yesterday, which is a week 1 thing.
Yeah.
I mean, tons of games. Really, Steelers, Jets, and Ravens, Bills were the only big overs the whole day.
Yeah, a lot. There were not a lot of overs. I was going to ask you, how long do we think Derrick Henry can play? He still looks like the fastest dude on the field. He's he's the biggest dude on the field almost all the time. I mean, even considering linebackers and linemen some of the times, like he's an absolute monster. His offseason program is insane. Do we have a legitimate candidate to run down Emmitt Smith? I mean, is it possible? Could
He's
he
still
play
7,000 yards away.
But if he puts up 1,800
Oh,
yards
yeah.
a year,
No, he puts up 1,800 next couple. I mean, dude, he's 31 now, I believe. Maybe 32.
it feels like he could play to 35. It
Oh,
really does.
Adrian Peterson did it. And Henry's I mean, AP was obviously in shape too, but AP had injuries and stuff. Henry's never gotten hurt. I don't know, man. I wouldn't, as long as he's a Raven with Lamar, he's going to keep crushing. And even if he loses a little speed the next few years, he's still going to be good. So, I mean, I wouldn't bet against him. Just unbelievable, the Henry effort. Okay, some other, I mean, there's a lot of dud performances yesterday. I mean, I want to touch on the Giants thing real quick. I mean, Dart might start Sunday against the Cowboys. Wilson looked terrible. It hurt Neighbors. They're clearly not going anywhere with Russ. I mean, I just don't see why you don't go for the future. I think it's already Dart time.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's they knew what they had in Russ to begin with. The fact that they elected to do this, I think there was concerns like, hey, would Dart be ready this early? Dart looked incredible during the preseason. As I said during the FFF pod, I think Dart will be the best quarterback from this entire class. So I think I would personally like to see him sooner rather than later. There's a chance Russ starts next week, and if it goes poorly once again, then you turn the reins over to Dart. I could easily see them giving Russ one more chance because the Commanders' defense a little bit better, still not a great defense by any means, but they played pretty good. They put a lot of pressure on Russ in that game, but Russ is known to hold the ball longer than he should, and he doesn't quite have the legs that he once did, to scramble around and make things happen. So I personally would give Russ one more week, let Dart start preparing for week 3 if things go wrong again in week 2.
Okay. Some other early games to touch on. Some dud perform. Okay. First of all, we got to talk about the Colts Miami thing because that Miami effort. I mean, that's what you come out with in week 1. Their first half effort was one of the sorriest I've ever seen in pro football. I mean, that was. And there's a lot of fantasy stuff in Miami with Tyreek and Waddle and Achane and Tua, and that was Moody. I mean, that was just despicable. I mean,
it was awful. Offensive line played the worst. Like we can point fingers at Tua, who obviously threw interceptions. Tyreek, his effort in the second half was definitely not there, but the game was out of hand at that point. I thought the offensive line for the Dolphins was easily the worst unit of any team in the NFL in Week 1. They were just awful. The Colts got after him, and it put Tua in some tough spots. He had to throw from a dirty pocket most of the time. It's part of the reason he made the mistakes that he made. I am worried about the Dolphins. But one of the good things, if you're looking at it from a fantasy standpoint, is their defense looked equally as bad.
Oh, Daniel Jones! Daniel Jones looked like Sam Darnold from last year, the resurrected QB.
Yeah, I'm still hesitant on Daniel Jones. I definitely am. But he had a good week 1. Credit where credit is due. Daniel Jones took care of business, blew out the Dolphins. I've still got a question mark beside Daniel Jones' name.
Fair enough. Tyler Warren and Michael Pittman, both big benefits.
Now that's the guy. If you're looking for somebody from the Colts, it is Tyler Warren. I mean, they ran a lot of two tight end sets.
Got that one right.
I
got Warren in all my teams.
Yeah. You put me on Warren, and I completely agree with you. I ended up with him in a couple teams, and he played great. I mean, he looked sensational. He was on the field almost the entire game, especially when things weren't out of hand just yet. And he's a good blocker, too. That's one thing that's going to be overlooked for fantasy players. He's a good blocker, so he has good real-life usage as well. You got to like Tyler Warren in his future, especially if Daniel Jones can be a decent quarterback.
Okay. All right, moving on. We're running through these games and observations. Like I said, chat, feel free to fire away questions, and we're going to hit this Monday
Yeah,
night
we
game.
we got a few things here from chat.
Yeah, and we love the chat, dude. Thank y'all for. And we're doing
Yeah,
Monday during football season. We're doing Mondays instead of Tuesdays because Tuesday it seems like I have after dark every week. And honestly, during football season, you got to have a Monday show. I mean, you have to.
I think it's smart for us to have a Monday show. Of course,
We're gonna
everybody
definitely
giving us some shit for Wake Up Mintzy at 4 p.m., 5 p.m.
We're gonna
Eastern.
change the name. Like now that we have Wake Up Barstool, and I will say, I mean, Wake Up Mintzy, the name, I mean, imitation flattery, on the Wake Up Barstool name.
Sure.
But
Speaking of Wake Up Barstool, T-Bob Abear, sensational. I mean, the
unbelievable,
absolute
dude.
star of that show. And I didn't watch
He's
all the episodes,
unbelievable,
but T-Bob, so good. I mean, he
dude.
crushed.
He's been a legend for as long as I've known him, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
no one happier for him than me. No one less surprised than me. Told Big Cat we should
Sure.
hire him in 2021. He's so talented.
Well, you were right on that. Our boy John Quincy Arbuckle saying he's one of your number one fans. YT Bacht also saying number one fan. Shout out to the boys that do roll with us. Look, we may not be the most entertaining show at Barstool, but I'm willing to bet that we
The
know more
knowledge is
ball
there.
than anybody. Yeah,
The knowledge
listen,
is there. Look,
I'll
if we're
put
looking to pick some winners in fantasy and football, we know what's up.
yeah, I'll
doubt.
run that head to head anytime they want. Bengals under week 1 mega lock every single year. And let's talk about that game. Bengals, they just struggle in Cleveland against the Browns. They don't
They
play
never
good offensively.
they always have the Browns have a good D line led by Garrett, and that always
Yep.
exposes Cincy's O line. And for some reason, Cincy always plays like shit in Cleveland. They got out of there with a win. They had the least amount of yards in the second or third quarter, second half by any NFL team in like the win in history. I mean, it's like crazy how few yards they had. But they got out of there with a win.
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm saying they got out of there with a win. I mean, they didn't have the greatest fantasy game, but they'll take it. They started 1-0. Fantasy wise, I'm not worried about Chase. I'm not worried about Higgins. I'm not worried about Chase Brown. They'll get it going. I have faith in Burrow. I've seen enough with Burrow. As long as he's healthy, he's gonna be fine. He's just let him get it going. He'll cook. No, nothing to overreact to on that side. The Cleveland side was interesting because Flacco was slinging it for a while in this game. A lot of people are on Njoku. That was the most bet over prop. I think Harold Fannin is a guy to look out for. He got some targets.
Harold Fannin has climbed to the top of my most hated list because I have Njoku in a couple leagues. And so Harold Fannin up there with David Montgomery for two guys that I hope get abducted by aliens.
Yeah, and then Sampson caught 8 balls, but Judkins got signed, and I know you've been big on the stash and Judkins on teams.
Yeah, look, Sampson was the lead back. He operated as the lead back. He averaged, 2.3 yards per carry. He did catch 8 balls for 64, so he showed he has that ability. But Judkins also can catch the ball out of the backfield. They want Judkins to be the guy in the future. I don't know if he'll be ready to go fully in week 2, even if he does play. But I think week 3 and beyond, Judkins is the guy, maybe the only dude worth really owning for the Cleveland Browns. So I have Judkins in literally every single league. He's one of my championship pieces, as I like to say. So I love Judkins. I think he's going to be a stud down the stretch. And I agree. No reason to worry about the Bengals. They always start slow. This is what they do. They'll be fine.
All right, hitting some other earlier noon games. Not a lot to say fantasy-wise on the Saints game. I will say, though, Marvin Harrison had a really good game. And a lot of people were wondering, could he break out in year 2? He's disappointing year 1. I mean, literally, I watched that game. Every target was to Harrison or McBride. That was the only 2 people Murray was throwing to. And we all know what McBride is. He's rock solid, especially PPR, elite tight end. But Harrison looked like he was emerging, so shout out to him. Saints side, you know what? There ain't much to say. I mean, it just...
Just Kamara and Olave, they've got a little bit of value.
Yeah, Shaheed, they took a 60-yard shot to Shaheed. Jawan Johnson's okay. Almost caught that touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
All right, nobody wants to hear about the Saints. All right, that game.
Couple things in chat real quick. I've seen 2 things about this, and I think we should probably touch on it. They're asking if any teams in the NFL folded Kings. Mincy, would you fold Kings?
In that spot, hell no. No, that spot, okay. And shout out to Foxwoods and DraftKings for hosting us. I thought it was an awesome event. But the Nate Kings fold, people get on me, and Quiggs did the fake aces fold in WSOP. There's not a chance in hell I'm folding Kings there. The way that hand was played, I mean, the flush draw missed. I mean, Nate, all he had to do was call. And not just that. And I love Nate. I'm not trying to bag on Nate. He's taking enough heat publicly. But, Dave bet.
I'll bag on him in a second.
Dave bet 1,000 into a pot of $7K. I mean, he was getting 9-1 on his money. You got 2 Kings heads up on a 10 high board. That's crazy. was a bad fold. It was a really bad fold. And
It was a horribly played hand by Nate. One of the worst hands you'll ever see played by a guy that claims to be a poker player.
Yeah. And Dave, the thing was is that Nate had a chance to stack Dave too, because the flop was 9 high and Dave had king 9, and Nate bet the flop 700 and Dave made it like 17. If Nate,
he should have re-raised
right then. He could have got Nate. Dave wasn't folding top pair.
So, no, that's exactly what I was saying whenever I was watching it live, because you want to find out where your opponent's at in that spot, right? Like, are they really willing to call down with just top pair? Like, it was horribly played by Nate. I came away from that thinking Nate's one of the worst poker players I've ever seen that calls himself a poker player. And I hate to say that because he seems like a decent dude, but brother, that shit was terrible.
Yeah, it was bad, dude. It was rough. But great event at Foxwoods, and I know we didn't have any shows last week because it was on the road. Also, shout out Tulane and John Summerall. I had a blast in Nola on the sideline. Dude, I got to go over to Summerall's house and watch football. How cool was that? Dude, I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty badass for sure.
Yeah. All right, back to the football because that's what y'all are here for. Other early noon stuff, the Bucs-Falcons game. Mbuka, great game for Tampa. He first round pick, 2 touchdowns, 67 yards. Got to be happy with that. Atlanta outgained them like 2-1 and lost in this game. Kyle Pitts looked good though, which is great because Moody was the last man standing in the world on the Kyle Pitts thing, and he looked good. Drake London escaped a major injury, which would have really killed Atlanta because the receiving core is dust behind him. So they kind of dodged a bullet there. Great game there. Any other noon observation games? I want to make sure we.
John Quincy Arbuckle was saying Egbuka season winner. Tend to agree. I think he's going to be great, especially early on in the season. Godwin will come back at some point. Now you have 3 mouths to feed in that passing game. I am actually of the belief that Egbuka is the perfect sell high candidate, someone that everybody's fawning over right now. I think I personally would. He's someone I would be considering trading, trying to get an.
Did you stash Godwin in any leagues?
No, I did not stash. I'm worried about how good Godwin will be coming back, but if he's just 70% of who he used to be, he's still definitely going to be usable, and he's someone that has a great rapport with Baker Mayfield, and especially on the short to intermediate routes. So, he's always going to have a role, I think, even if he is not quite the same guy that he was. But again, it becomes 3 mouths to feed there, and I think Egbuka will lose a little bit of value as the season progresses. That's just my personal opinion.
I think could work though is they could put Godwin in the slot because his game is like he could be a really good slot receiver with Evans and him Buka outside. But that was a great game, and Atlanta missed that field goal. What a win for Tampa, by the way. They don't have Godwin. Yeah. They didn't have Tristan Wirfs. I mean, Atlanta had to win that game at home to have a real shot at the NFC South to go 1-0. I mean, Tampa, when you look later in the year, that's going to be the game where, Tampa won the South, even though it was week 1, because Atlanta, if they were really going to contend, they had to win that game week 1 when Tampa had guys out on their home field. I mean, it was a must-win.
Yeah, I agree. That was my big whiff of the weekend. I had the over in that game, and I had the Atlanta money line.
I mean, I had the over, too, and if it freaking makes that – anyway.
He makes that kick, the over hits, Atlanta has a chance to win it. Certainly unfortunate. I didn't think the Bucs played great.
They didn't. They didn't have a lot of yards.
Yeah, I didn't think that they looked like the Bucs from last year, and we're going to see how that progresses. Without Liam Cohen, who is a legitimate play caller, will that offense take a small step back? I actually think that they do. We'll see. Again, I don't want to overreact.
Baker's kind of taken he started a little slower with Tampa and then starts cooking mid to late year the last couple of years too. So maybe and it's week 1. All these teams are struggling week 1. Jacksonville, Carolina, just Thomas scored. Travis Hunter got a bunch of targets. Bryce Young was Carolina did not keep the momentum going from scoring all those points late in the year. I mean, it was that they might still suck. I mean, it was rough.
Everybody else was. I know Che was kind of trying to jump on the Bryce Young bandwagon. I can't get there, man. He's just too small for this league. I personally believe, and not that he can't. He's the best option they have, so they're going to keep rolling him out there. But I can't get behind it. I think obviously I'm one of the leaders of the Jaguars bandwagon this season. They're kind of my breakout team now that they have Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence is healthy once again. So it was a good effort from Jacksonville. I thought they could have been even better, but ultimately I liked what I saw. Brian Thomas Jr. didn't catch a lot of balls, but they found ways to get him involved. He scored on the 9-yard run. He'll be fine. Travis Hunter. A lot of targets in this game. Clearly going to be a part of the game plan week in and week out. I personally hope he doesn't play much defense as a fantasy player, but if they need to use him in certain spots, wouldn't blame him for doing it.
Yeah, they're going to play him in dime packages on 3rd and long. It's basically what
Which
it
makes
is.
sense. That's fine.
And he's going to play full-time receiver, and then he's going to be out there on 3rd and long. That's what it is.
Yep.
So, love that. All right, other games to mention. I just went through the NFC South. Cowboys Eagles is so long ago. People probably don't want to talk about it or Chiefs Chargers, but do want to mention some stuff. Chargers, lot to love. Herbert, the weapons have improved significantly. Getting Keenan Allen back is a security blanket, and then everybody was so down on Quentin Johnson, but he's still a hell of a playmaker if he can catch the ball. 2 touchdowns. Lad McConkey looked good. I thought of Marion Hampton, even though he didn't have the biggest fantasy game, I thought he looked really good. And Herbert. What a win. I thought that if you're a Chargers fan, you had to love what you saw.
Yeah, Herbert used his legs more than we've seen. It really opened things up for the offense. I like what we're seeing from the Chargers. Obviously, the Chiefs now have some questions without Xavier Worthy. I stashed Hollywood Brown in most of my
What's going on
leagues.
with Worthy? He has a separated shoulder, so he's out this week.
They're looking more into. There's a chance he could have surgery. I haven't checked the update in the last. I checked it this morning. They hadn't put anything else out, but he could have surgery, which could be a multi-week absence here. So that would give Hollywood Brown a ton of credit, just chances down the stretch here. And I don't know about Juju Smith-Schuster. He's someone you could probably look at in PPR leagues, but he drops balls and whatnot.
Okay. But yeah, that was a wild game Friday night. Mahomes had the under and got cooked on that 4th and 7 bomb at the end of the game. But whatever. Just nobody cares about my gambling bad beats, even though there were a lot of them this weekend. All right. So we touched on that. Cowboys Eagles real quick. I thought Dak looked good. I know CD kind of could have caught. Yeah, I liked what I saw. And even though Pickens caught one long one, he affected the game. He got a big PI. And I think, especially in the games in Dallas, he's going to be more of a factor. And then Javonte Williams looked good. The Dallas O-line looked good. I know they lost, but there was a lot to like there on that front. The Eagles, it was weird how the passing game, A.J. Brown had 1 catch, and, but Hurts beat him with his legs, but they'll be fine too.
Some games look like this for the Eagles. This is not out of their range of outcomes on any given week for this to happen. Like this, there are games when A.J. Brown throws up a dud, where Devontae Smith throws up a dud, and it's Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley carrying the load. Like this will happen multiple times this season. We've seen it the last couple years. Jalen Hurts is not going to force things that he doesn't think is there. He plays the quarterback position very smart. He knows the backup option is always just take off running, and he does it as good as anybody in the league. So
another thing too, they play with the lead a lot. When they're leading, they're running the ball.
Yeah.
That's part. That's a game flow wise. That's a lot with them too.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, look out. Week 2, they're at KC. They're a 1.5 point favorite with Super Bowl rematch. I've seen this before at the Eagles. When AJ has a dud game, they force feed him the next game. I've seen this a bunch because they try to keep him happy. I'd look out for him to have a big game Sunday.
My biggest takeaway from that game was how good Dak Prescott looked. I thought he played sensational. CD dropped some balls that were perfectly placed. Dak looks back. I think the Cowboys, they're okay. They're all right. I know losing Micah's a big deal. I think the Cowboys are fine. We'll see what happens as the year goes on and who stays healthy. But my biggest takeaway was definitely that Dak looked incredible in that game. I really liked him.
Sunday, Raiders, Patriots, Geno, 362. Wow. What an effort by Geno. They couldn't run the ball. And Bowers had over 100. Jacoby Myers had almost 100. Geno absolutely cooked them. Got to give him credit.
Got to give him credit. I think the Patriots defense just sucks. They haven't fixed it yet. But Geno deserves
Maybe
credit.
They fixed the run D. The run D looked good.
Yeah, Genty looked like shit. He averaged, 2 yards a pop?
I loved his under. I was talking about it all week last week. It was it was mid-70s. I was like, this is insane.
Yeah,
and I also was leading the Ashton Genty bus train. I was the leader of that.
Yeah, you were. My biggest takeaway from that game, Kayshon Boutte for the Patriots. I was hyping him up on the FFF pod.
We started him in the big league. He had 104 yards for us.
In the big league. 6 catches, 103 yards. He's the number 1 there. People aren't ready for that yet because Stephon Diggs and his name. Kayshon Boutte's the number 1 there. I'm telling you, it's coming. Expect it all season long. He's the number 1. They drafted him like that, 3 years ago now. Dealt with some injuries. Had kind of a decent season last year. He's the number 1. Just watch.
All right. We kind of talked about Fields and the Steelers-Jets, but Rodgers, 4 touchdowns, dude. Wow.
Yeah. So that's one thing that was probably the most shocking thing of the week, really and truly. It was probably the most shocking thing just to see him play so good, so in rhythm. They protected him for the most part. 22 of 30, 244, 4 touchdowns. Took care of business. And Aaron Rodgers, whenever he's given time, he is a dude that can take care of business. So Got to give him a ton of credit. He did his job.
Yeah. Oh, no. Couldn't have looked better. Week 1, got his revenge on the Jets. Denver, Tennessee was super ugly. We knew Cam Ward would struggle. That was a tough matchup. Bo Nix struggled a little more. It's week 1, so you don't want to overdo it. But R.J. Harvey had a 50-yard run late. He had 6 for 70. They got to get him the ball more, and you're going to see him emerge. Sutton looks real solid. Sutton looks like a real solid, just gets targets, touchdown. He's, as long as he's healthy, I wouldn't feel. Evan Ingram got banged up, I believe. I wonder how long. I don't know how bad it was.
You never know with Ingram. He's always an injury concern. Chadwick Moss saying Bo Nix looked like ass. He needs to pick it up for the Broncos to make any moves this year. And look, the quarterback position, obviously the most important position of any team in sports. And Nix was the reason they played so well last year, him and that defense. And defense carried them in week 1. Nix played one of the worst games we've actually seen from him as a pro, I thought. I'm not super concerned about him, but I do have him in one of my 2 quarterback leagues, and I am a little bit concerned. It wasn't very good.
Okay. Yeah. The Niners-Seahawks game, did you see the ending with that third-string tight end making that crazy catch? That was insane. Dude hadn't caught a pass in his NFL career, catches 3, and that play that won the game was, absolutely just wild. Big win for the Niners. Kittle got hurt. McCaffrey doesn't look great. Pearsall looks good, which was a big Moody Mets play.
That was my number 1 play of the year. I gave it out on the FFF pod. Ricky Pearsall, number 1 play of the year, over 875 yards. Also have him as a 1,000-plus yard receiver this season. Great start to the year with what he showed. He's a stud, dude. This guy is legitimate, and Juwan Jennings got hurt in that game as well. We'll see what the outcome is on him. But, brother, Ricky Pearsall, got him in every league, got all the props. I love him. And he helped me cash this week in it was a min cash, but I cashed in the big DFS because of Pearsall and his efforts.
Giddy up, Pearsall playing in the Dome against the Saints next weekend, too. Great matchup. The Rams-Texans was 14-9 Rams. I wasn't surprised. I talked all week. The Rams were my biggest bet of the week. And I just thought Houston would struggle on offense, and they did. They struggled a lot. Rams let them hang around a little bit late. Puka had a really big game. Kind of thought this might happen where Stafford and Adams got to get chemistry going, so I'm not surprised to see Puka get the big target share. Kyron Williams had a touchdown. He looks like he's solid. The Houston thing, other than Nico, I don't want anything to do with anybody on that team, really.
No, the thing with Houston's going to be when they play teams with good pass rushes, they're going to struggle. When they can give
their offensive line sucks.
Their offensive line sucks. The Rams have an elite pass rush. They got after him. That was the difference in that game. It was kind of just a sloppy game in general. Both teams tried to give it away at the end. I'm not looking too deep into it. I thought Stafford looked okay. He took a couple. The good thing with Stafford is he took a couple big shots and he got up and looked fine. If you're concerned about his back, I don't think there's a real issue there. It is something obviously to monitor. If you're in a deep league and you're running Stafford out there for some reason, you do want to have a second option just in case he takes a big hit and it messes his back up. So it's a small concern, but I think it's fine. And Houston, just pay attention to who they're playing. If the pass rush is good, only play Nico.
Yep. And then finally, last game, we got to talk about this Detroit-Green Bay game because Green Bay, you said it before. You were talking about how good that defense might be. Dude, that defensive effort yesterday to hold Detroit to 6 points with all those weapons, they just whipped their ass at the line of scrimmage. And, I don't know, are we okay, it's always the week 1 thing. You don't want to over-panic about week 1. Detroit's a different team when they play in the Dome. I think they'll still be good, but they definitely look like they missed Ben Johnson yesterday. And then they also missed a couple offensive linemen that left. That really was what got exposed.
Yeah, me and the boys were talking about this one earlier today. I'm giving more credit to the Green Bay defense than I am to fault of the Lions offense. That's just me. I think the Green Bay defense could be the best in the NFL, even without Micah Parsons. I think this is going to be one of the best defenses in the NFL. The addition of Parsons, especially as he plays more, will be a difference maker for sure. So, but there is concern without Ben Johnson there. They just didn't look as explosive. And I know they didn't block things up as well. That's, again, credit to Green Bay. But the play designs, you didn't see anything real unique out of their designs. So I am a little worried about the Lions. I want to see them play a bad defense and see if they light them up like they did last year. And then that'll kind of ease my concerns. But definitely not the same team that we saw last season.
All right, let's get into tonight and chat. Like I said, you got any questions or anything, fire them away. I got a debate in Moody and I's league. we had Tyler Lockett, who we're gonna have to cut because that's not we're done with that. Do we pick up Quentin Johnson off the 2 touchdown week? Is going to be a debate on the waiver wire.
Yeah. Streamer Central says, I really enjoy that Mincy isn't sitting there with paper notes in his hands. Anytime I see him, I think that he's unprepared, but our boy is prepared. As someone who has known Mincy for years, this dude is just, his memory is insane. He's literally an encyclopedia of sports. He sees it, he remembers it. He doesn't need to prepare for stuff like this.
Well, I'll say this: football season's where we shine, Moody. This is what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, and so we're just going to be going all football a few times a week on this show. And if you like this football talk, fantasy football, gambling talk, we're here for you, and we're here to,
for sure.
yeah. All right, let's get into tonight. All right, we're gonna get and shout out DraftKings, so many boosts and stuff tonight. We got two things on here to take. We've got a no sweat bet, and dude, like I said, I repeat it. The best thing that's going on about this modern legal gambling age is it's so great for recreational players. You can risk so little money and do these prop parlays and stuff and watch games entertainment for $5, $10, $20 and actually win money. It's the best thing ever. And tonight, I'm logging in right now on my sportsbook account. Shout out Moody. We got to mention that. Moody giving out Dalton Kincaid 20-1 for the people last night on that first touchdown.
Yeah, I gave it out to the people. The people were pretty happy about it. Had a lot of people that tailed it apparently. Hit on my, obviously the ghost leg saved me on my anytime touchdown parlay. Made about 11 units yesterday in total. So good way to start the season. Definitely trying to stack it up. Obviously have a lot of money left over from baseball season, but want to continue building here during football season. Great to get off to a good start. Just feels nice,
yeah. Yeah. I had a slight winning week that could have been, whatever, dude. I missed a 27-1 by 2 yards, a 13-1 by 1 yard. Whatever. Anyway, nobody wants to hear it, dude. It's like poker bad beats. Like, I'm stuck about it, but nobody wants to hear this negativity because we're obviously firing good. Look at how many shots I'm getting on long shots. All right, Minnesota Vikings by 1.5 at Chicago, 43.5. Mr. Moody, what you think about tonight?
No clue who wins this game. I'm just going to, again, I don't bullshit. I tell you what I think. I don't know who wins this game. Obviously, I think the coaching is with Ben Johnson. I think he's the best coach in this game, in my personal opinion. But I bagged on Caleb Williams.
I love O'Connell's. I don't know, dude.
I like O'Connell, but I think Ben Johnson's a little bit better personally. But they're both great. Don't get me wrong. But I don't trust Caleb Williams until I see it. I don't know. I don't know what we're getting out of JJ McCarthy. I personally am not picking a winner in this game because I just flat out do not know. I'm more on the.
There's a lot of unknowns about this game, but I'm taking Chicago plus 1.5, and I'll tell you why. The Vikings are the most prime regression candidate after winning 14 games last year and going like 9-0 in one-scoring games. They're such a prime regression candidate. McCarthy's first NFL start here. Naylor's going to go, but no Jordan Addison. They bring Adam Thielen back a week ago. Thielen's a dog, though. I think he'll be ready, and he's going to be excited to be back in Minnesota because that's where he's from. But on the Bears side of it, look, I'm thinking you're going to see a lot of 2 tight ends. It's very hard to bet props to the Bears because you've got 3 wide receivers and 2 tight ends. You're kind of just guessing. Yeah. But if I had to pick any prop stuff, I like Loveland because they drafted him 10th overall, and I've heard he looked great in camp. And Ben Johnson loves throwing to the tight end, and I think Loveland's a little Porta in this offense. He's plus 390 touchdown. I like that. I think they're going to look to get him the ball. And then I'm checking his receiving yards props out right now. On Loveland, I'm seeing like I guess like 32, something like that. But I'm leaning over. I like him touchdown. I like the Bears to win the game. Over under, I would slightly lean under, if anything, just because the inexperienced quarterbacks and the week 1 thing. Yeah. I can't bet over in this game. If I had to make a play, it'd be under. But I think I'm going to just go Bears and Loveland touchdown and maybe something else. That's where I'm at with it.
So we've seen Ben Johnson utilize his running backs just so much. And I understand he had a couple studs there. One of the best seasons that DeAndre Swift ever had was whenever Ben Johnson was with him. So I like DeAndre Swift in this game. DeAndre Swift is my first touchdown scorer tonight. That's who I'm going to roll out there. I'm using my $20 no sweat bet on him. I think Justin Jefferson has a solid game. I wouldn't rip it too hard on Justin Jefferson, but I do like him. He's going to get in the end zone. I understand they're the favorites to get in the end zone in this game, and that's not always the route that I go. But I do like DeAndre Swift and Justin Jefferson both to score tonight. And then Colston Loveland was also somebody that I think could get some run too. So if you're looking for a 3-leg touchdown parlay, those would be my three guys.
I'm worried about Jefferson tonight, and I love him, and I've got him on teams, but he averages 125 yards a game at home in that dome, and he averages 80 in his career on the road. And it's just the splits are just so dramatic, and he's had some bad games in Soldier Field the last few years. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen tonight, McCarthy's first game, and I'm not worried. Even if he has a bad game, I feel fine about him, but I'm not big on Jefferson tonight, on his props.
What do you think about Rome Odunze? Because I think he's someone that could break out this season. It all depends on Caleb. Can Caleb really run this freaking offense? Is the biggest question mark around the whole thing.
I mean, I think
I
Odunze
like
could be
Odunze
good.
a lot if he can.
Man, Luther Burden's got some potential, and the DJ. My problem is just they've got 3 and 2 tight ends. I just don't, it's just like hard. The dude's got talent, but the ball's got to go everywhere, and Caleb has to be good to feed all those mouths. So it's just, I can't. I mean, Moore's the number 1, but I can't get on these Bears props at receiver with the 3 guys. I can't do it.
Arlie Pavlag says he's got Thielen and Aaron Jones tonight, and I think Aaron Jones is worth talking about. It's worth talking about the running backs for Minnesota because they signed Jordan Mason this offseason, who showed some good things at times last year with San Francisco. Who do you like more in that backfield? What do you think the splits look like? Who's your guy if you had to pick one?
Okay, well, what's going to happen is Jones is going to be more the guy till about week 3 when he gets hurt because his body gets banged up every year now because they ran him 40 times a game in college at UTEP and the Packers used to run him into the ground. And so they signed Mason because they know Jones can't stay healthy the whole year. But I think Jones is the lead guy tonight, probably like a 65-35 kind of thing. Jones is a better pass catcher than Mason. I think Mason's not going to be in there on third downs. Jones will. I actually could see Jones has had Dude, he's torched the Bears in his career in Green Bay. He's just killed them. So I could see, and I also could see with McCarthy's first start, them trying to run the ball makes a lot of sense. So I like the Jones thing tonight. I could see it. You know where I think Jones is always good. Let me see what his receiving props are because he can catch the ball, and the running back receiving props are kind of fun sometimes.
Shout out to Jamie Martinez, one of our guys from way back in the day, mixing up with Mintz and Moody. Shout out to Jamie. Chat seems to like Thielen and Aaron Jones tonight as well. I could see Thielen being productive for sure. He's a possession receiver, but again, how good is JJ McCarthy going to be? Will he rise to the occasion in game 1? Like I have so many questions that
I agree. It's like you want to fire all these props, but I'm worried about the McCarthy thing.
It sucks to say, but like this kind of feels like more just like take 1 or 2 shots in this game and then just watch the game and get information from it rather than like taking some massive shots. That's kind of how I feel about this one. But
all right, well, I want to put together a parlay for the people, and I've got 2 legs on mine already. So I'll let Moody pick a third because
I like DeAndre Swift to get in the end zone. That's my favorite thing. I think he scores in this game.
Are you worried about Rashawn Johnson poaching touchdowns?
Or Kyle, Monagai? I think that's how you say his name. Like there are some concerns. I'm not really worried about Rashawn Johnson. I'm more worried about Kyle Monagai potentially vulturing around the goal line. But I think Swift, he's been the lead back. Ben Johnson trusts him. I think Swift, and one other thing I like, Swift catching the ball out of the backfield. That's the other
now you just hit on one I want to get on.
I
like that more than the touchdown.
Okay, well, see what his over-under is on the yards because I think there's a chance he's going to catch some passes in this game. Because that's a big part of Ben Johnson's offense, and that is one of the things that makes Swift at his best. So
he's minus 133 he's minus 133 for 15 and plus 152 for 25. So that means his over-under is like 18 or 19.
Yeah, you maybe just rip his over-under right there at 18. He could easily get 20 yards in this game, I think.
Okay.
I just think he has to be a factor in the passing game for them because that's a part of Ben Johnson's game. It's just and I understand maybe he was, piece-based because Gibbs, that was his best asset, but Swift has a big part of that in him as well. So I think that'll be, and
16 and a half.
Caleb Williams is if Caleb Williams is someone that holds the ball for so long and you're worried about him, like there's going to be times he's going to need to check down, and I'm sure Ben Johnson's been in his ear about that. So I think Swift will be a part of this game on the ground and through the air. He's the number one piece that stuck out to me as someone that needs to be a contributor tonight if the Bears want to win.
All right. I got to take one play out. I got our parlay for the people. All right, yeah, 14. All right, 14-1 Bears plus 1.5 Loveland touchdown and Swift over 16.5 receiving. What do you think, Moody? I like the Loveland TD.
Yeah, I like it. I will probably take the Bears out of there and throw the DeAndre Swift touchdown on mine. I don't know who's going to win this game. I don't trust the Bears yet. So I personally can't. I'm not going to be on that part of it. But I will take that out and throw the DeAndre Swift touchdown on there as my replacement. But I like the
Okay.
rest of it for sure.
All right.
Yep.
But hell yeah, football's back, baby. I freaking love it.
Hell yeah.
Shout out our chat. Appreciate y'all. We're gonna definitely be doing Mondays and Thursdays, for sure. We're not doing Tuesday. We're going Monday instead of Tuesday. Barstool After Dark's been conflicting with Tuesday so much, and Monday's a better football show anyway. So I think that's an obvious move. So that's yeah. But and also just follow at FF Pod. We're following Moody. We're firing on DraftKings all season long. We love. Let's go get the crown. Let's go get all this money.
Yeah, and we got a couple other things that were up here that I want to get to. Should I be more pissed at Matthew Golden or Jordan Love or the OC or what? I'm guessing he's talking about Matthew Golden's involvement in the offense. It's really early in the year for a rookie. He should probably be the number one, but I mean, Reed was healthy. Reed played great. And Reed had that continuity coming back. So, like, I think Golden will get better as the season progresses. Right now, he's probably someone that sits on your bench and watches until he shows that he's become that number one guy. But I like his talent. He's a really talented player. So I think at some point this year he's going to be a viable option. It just feels like right now they like Reed because Reed's been there. He knows the offense, and he's a good player too. But here's the thing: Reed gets hurt. He's someone that misses time, so he's probably going to miss time at some point this season. Then Matthew Golden really becomes the stud.
I have a little concern on that end because Love doesn't always throw for the most yards, and then the Green Bay receiving thing with Dobbs and it's just random who gets it. It's like kind of hard to know, and then Tucker Kraft's emerging too. I'd also think Green Bay with their defense, maybe they're not playing a lot of shootouts this year.
That's true as well. Let's see. I saw another good one. Can Jaden Daniels still be a threat against the Green Bay defense? That's a really good question. What do you think?
I mean, I think he's definitely still a threat just because his legs can extend plays and he can get out of sacks. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying he's going to come out and score 30 fantasy points, but yeah, he's a threat. I mean, I know this Green Bay defense is really good, but his mobility makes him a threat against anybody.
I actually think the fact that their defense is so good, he'll need to rely on his legs more. So you expect the rushing yards. Maybe they don't put up a ton of points. If you have a better option, you might consider it that week, but the rushing yards will be there for Jane Daniels. I mean, yeah, Jane Daniels especially. I think especially against a team like that gets after the quarterback. He's still faster than those dudes, even if they can beat the O line. So like he'll have to use his legs. I think he'll be okay. I wouldn't say he's a major threat, but he's always a threat.
No, yeah, and I think that's the difference. Golf got shut down because he can't move, and so
yeah, for sure.
I think that's fair. We got any more?
Streamer Central says I'm going Caleb 2+ interceptions. I could get on the Caleb interception.
Oh, I could see that.
Ooh, I could get on that.
I could see that.
Flores
confuses quarterbacks too.
Ooh, I like that. I like that Streamer Central. I could definitely get on that.
Yeah.
What else do we have? Jamie Martinez said I got Vikings money line, the under with Loveland and Jay Jetta's 80+ receiving yards. I think
so. He's fade. He's on the fade. Jamie the fade Mintzy team. I respect it.
Mintzy, did you go to school with Brandon Stockley?
Brandon
Stokely.
But no, Brandon Stokely's the old Colts receiver who went to UL Lafayette. No, I didn't. But he was a legend. He was on the Super Bowl team with Peyton. Yeah, but no, I didn't. He's from Lafayette. But him, you know who Brandon Stokely played college ball with though, Moody? You know who his quarterback was?
Who?
Jake Delhomme.
Really? Louisiana
yeah, dude, they cooked at ULL. Yeah, I think it was Southwest Louisiana back then.
Yeah, that may have been right about the time they were switching over to ULL. Now they're the University of Louisiana.
Where they say they
huge
are.
Charger fan here says Arlie Johnson is only equipped for certain routes catches. I would not invest in him, to be honest. The thing is, our league is super deep. And right now we ran Tyler Lockett out there this past week, who
Yeah,
just
well,
looked
we have
like
Rasheed
flat out
Rice
dog shit.
sitting for 6 weeks. That's what I'm
Yep.
saying. I'm going to push us to try to get him because we got to win without Rice.
Yeah, my only reservation was we already have Lad McConkey on that team and Omarion Hampton, so I didn't know that I wanted three Chargers because I almost picked up Quentin Johnston right before that game, and I didn't do it. Obviously, looking back, I wish I would have.
We still won.
But that was my only concern.
All right.
Anything else? Falcons devastating defeat yesterday for our guy, Mr. Nuts, the big Falcons fan. Yeah, it broke my
Penix
heart
looks
too.
like,
I had no
it was very devastating for sure, but Penix looks like a
Mhm.
guy. And I think long
Yeah.
term, Penix looking good is big.
I thought the Falcons were going to win that game. I mean, I was on a money line too. That one hurt me as well. The biggest concern now is how bad is the injury for Drake London. If he's
I think they're
okay,
saying day.
I
I've
think
been
they're
seeing day
fine.
to day. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine too.
No, if he goes down,
Oh,
that offense is going to crap though, because the one thing the Falcons they just don't have the receiving depth behind him is like Mooney's already banged up. Ray McClellan, it's the receiving core gets real bad if London's not out there.
yeah. That's about everything. Flute player Phil wants to say he likes your shirt, Mint. He likes what
Yeah,
you got
RB
over
shout
there.
out Devin Snow, hold the mayo. I look. I'm glad to hear that shirt gets a shout out because I make Devin and me are buddies. I try to wear the RB and R Day shirt every Monday. I try to wear that and sport it, man. I'm a big Devin fan.
Well, speaking of that, I think this is a good lead into this question. Minty, are you an etouffee, gumbo, or jambalaya guy?
More gumbo, but I like all three. I like crawfish
Yeah.
etouffee. I'd rank it gumbo, crawfish etouffee, then jambalaya. And hey, speaking of that, found the good gumbo in Chicago. Frontier had the Saints watch party yesterday. I went to, dude, Moody, full New Orleans brass band, tons of Saints fans in there. Man, it was a huge party. Awesome time at Frontier, man. First time I've gotten to go to the Saints thing, and it was. And hey, I don't know if you saw one of the great ironies. They had like a raffle. I won the raffle
Yes.
for a bottle of Devil's Reserve tequila. So I gave
Yeah,
it to my buddy.
I thought that was pretty hilarious. Funny how things work sometimes. Mr. Nutt said Kyle Pitts is emerging. Let's go. Kyle Pitts finally having his breakout season, 77 years into the league. Let's freaking go, Kyle Pitts. I'm big on Kyle Pitts this year. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Well, awesome. Well, I'm like I said, looking forward to taking the Bears tonight and fire the props on DraftKings. Dude, just love talking football. Like I said, man, Moody's here for a reason. The dude knows the fantasy better than anybody I know, and it's just so fun getting to talk. And I'm glad the chat liked it too. We're gonna keep it coming on Mondays and Thursdays for sure. And y'all have
Let's hit another first touchdown play tonight, boys.
Oh, you got. Well, let's do.
DeAndre
Well, let's
Swift.
drop. Let's draw that up. Let's before we get out of
Yeah,
here. Let's look
first
at the odds.
touchdown play for me tonight, DeAndre Swift. That's what I'm using my no sweat bet on. Obviously, I had Dalton Kincaid last night. I'm running it back with DeAndre Swift tonight.
7-1.
I'm
7-1's 7-1's pretty good.
7-1's pretty good. He is the favorite. I understand that. I took a long shot last night. It's not always going to be the long shot. I like Swift. The thing about the first touchdown plays is obviously that there's a little bit of luck involved in them. Who gets the ball first? Like there is luck for sure. I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh, you can always predict that shit." Like it's not that easy. There's just some luck in it. It's not like doing a home run parlay where you're figuring, "Hey, this guy's going to get 3 at bats against this pitcher." It is different. I think there's more skill in the home run parlays. And I think that the first touchdown score is a little bit of luck, but I like DeAndre Swift. Anytime touchdown and first touchdown tonight. Those are my top 2 plays of this game.
All right, and I like Loveland. Well, thank y'all so much. A lot of just always the most fun ever getting to talk football with Moody. And we went all NFL fantasy today. We'll get into college more on Thursday, but the NFL's back. It felt like a holiday weekend all weekend, and enjoy the game tonight. Also, I want to remind people in Chicago, the Paul's Chicago 5K on Saturday, the 25th annual. I'll be out there at 7:30 with Stella Blue, running at Montrose Park. Sign up. It's the most pet-friendly 5K in the world. Going to be a lot of fun. So join us, and y'all have a hell of a day. And check out the Barstool After Dark. I'm catcher on the Perfect Game Stream tomorrow. Hopefully we're not out there for 41 hours. That we got rained out a couple weeks ago. We're making it up tomorrow. Au revoir.